Welcome to this lecture on zoogeographical realms. Imagine traveling from the dense Amazon rainforest to the vast deserts of Australia. You would quickly notice that the animals living in these places are completely different, even if the climates are similar. Why do we only find kangaroos in Australia and hummingbirds in the Americas? This fascinating puzzle is exactly what zoogeography attempts to solve. Today, we are going to explore how scientists divide the Earth into massive biological neighborhoods and how we can mathematically measure the connections between them. Now that we have introduced the mystery of animal distribution, let us define what these biological neighborhoods actually are. In the scientific study of animal distribution, a zoogeographical realm is a massive, distinct geographic region of the Earth. What makes it special is that it contains a unique assemblage of endemic animal species, meaning animals that are found nowhere else. This brilliant concept was first proposed by Philip Sclater in 1858 when he was studying birds. Later, in 1876, Alfred Russel Wallace expanded this idea to include all vertebrates, fundamentally changing how we view global biology. Building on that definition, let us look at how the Earth is actually divided. Alfred Russel Wallace categorized the world into 6 primary realms: the Palearctic, Nearctic, Neotropical, Ethiopian, Oriental, and Australian realms. But why do these distinct realms exist? The answer lies in major geographical barriers. Massive oceans, towering mountain ranges, and expansive deserts prevent animals from easily crossing from one region to another. Because these animal populations are isolated for millions of years, they evolve entirely independently. This deep historical isolation is the exact reason we see such unique biodiversity in each specific realm today. Having discussed the 6 realms, let us now visualize them on a global map. What you are seeing here is the Earth divided not by political borders, but by evolutionary history. Notice the Nearctic realm in North America and the Palearctic realm stretching across Europe and Asia. Down south, we have the Neotropical realm in South America and the Ethiopian realm in Africa. Pay special attention to the boundary between the Oriental realm in Southeast Asia and the Australian realm. That dashed line is Wallace's line, a deep ocean trench that acts as a massive invisible wall to animal migration. Now that we can see these realms on a map, a crucial question arises. How do we scientifically compare them? Biologists cannot just rely on visual guesses to determine how similar or different 2 regions are. Instead, they need rigorous mathematical tools to measure species overlap and quantify the exact degree of biological isolation. This allows us to understand historical connections, like ancient land bridges. To achieve this objective comparison, scientists rely on one of the most common and effective formulas in biogeography, known as the Jaccard Index of Similarity. Let us look at this formula next. This brings us to the mathematical heart of zoogeography. The Jaccard Index formula comes from the need to find a precise ratio of shared species to the total distinct species across 2 areas. The formula is J equals C divided by the quantity A plus B minus C. Here, J is the Jaccard Index, which always falls between 0 and 1. The variable A represents the total unique species in the first realm, while B represents the unique species in the second realm. The variable C is the number of shared species found in both. If the number of shared species increases, the index gets closer to 1, meaning the realms are very similar. If they share nothing, The index is exactly 0. Before we move on, let us see this formula in action with a concrete example. Suppose we are comparing freshwater fish families in the Northern Hemisphere. We are given that the Nearctic realm has 14 specific families, so A is 14. The Palearctic realm has 18, so B is 18. Fossil records show they share 10 families, making C equal to 10. We chose the Jacquard index to see how connected these landmasses were. Substituting these values, our numerator is 10. In the denominator, 14 plus 18 is 32, minus 10 gives 22. Dividing 10 by 22 gives a final answer of 0.454. This 45.4% similarity physically means these realms were historically connected, likely by the Bering Land Bridge. Now that we have used this formula successfully, let us understand where its denominator comes from. What this chunk of the proof is setting out to do is establish the true number of distinct species across both regions. Mathematically, if we just add the species from the first realm and the second realm, we get A plus B. In our previous example, 14 plus 18 gave us a preliminary sum of 32. But there is a logical flaw here. The shared species, represented by C, exist in both realms. By simply adding A and B, we have counted those shared species twice. This intuition tells us that A plus B is too large, and we need to correct it in the next step. Continuing our derivation, we must correct our preliminary sum. Since the shared species were counted twice, the mathematical reasoning is simple. We must subtract them exactly once. This gives us the expression A plus B minus C. In our fish example, we took the sum of 32 and subtracted the 10 shared families, leaving exactly 22 unique families in total across the entire Northern Hemisphere. This perfectly frames the biological reality in mathematical terms. We now see why the Jacquard index is defined as the shared species C divided by the true total, A plus B minus C. This earned understanding will help us tackle our next example. Armed with our proven formula, let us look at two realms that are geographically close but separated by a deep ocean trench. We are given 25 mammal families in the Oriental realm, so A is 25. The Australian realm has 15, so B is 15. Because of Wallace's line, they only share 2 families, meaning C is 2. We apply the Jacquard index to quantify the barrier effect of this ocean trench. Substituting the values, our numerator is 2. The denominator becomes 25 plus 15, which is 40, minus 2, giving 38. 2 divided by 38 yields a final answer of 0.052. This translates to just a 5.2% similarity, showing massive biological isolation. So we have calculated this extremely low similarity score. This brings us to a formal mathematical proof of the profound impact of Wallace's line. What we are establishing here is that geographical proximity does not guarantee biological similarity. Our mathematical reasoning compares the 2 indices we just found. The northern realms, connected by land bridges, showed a high similarity of 45.4%. In stark contrast, the Oriental and Australian realms, despite being physically very close, show a mere 5.2% similarity. This massive mathematical difference proves that the deep ocean trench successfully prevented almost all mammalian migration, forcing these 2 regions to evolve into completely distinct biological worlds. To conclude our lecture, let us review the most important ideas we have covered. First, Zoogeographical realms are massive, distinct biological zones that divide our planet based on the evolutionary history of animals. Second, we learned that geographical barriers like oceans, mountains, and deserts cause millions of years of isolation, leading to unique species in each realm. Finally, by using mathematical tools like the Jacquard Index, we can objectively quantify the similarities between these regions. You have now mastered both the biological concepts and the mathematical proofs behind animal distribution. Understanding these realms is the ultimate key to unlocking the story of how life migrated, adapted, and diversified across the Earth.